Hey guys, it's Parker here, back at part 9 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2 Resolve. Yeah, for this part, we're continuing the witness testimony for Sharon Spear and Olive Green. I do remember now, just a week ago, per adventure that note was delivered unto me. On the day right therein, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. I think he's stuck in this man's room, dude. Do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here, and as for the torn out piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it. Are you sure? You had the part of the envelope. You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shakespeare? A fate 'tis told, my lord, and I would swear to have set it upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet, 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid eyes upon it. Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was a lie. Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think I'm the one lying. I beg your pardon? I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. That doesn't, you being an artist doesn't have anything to do with this. The note was delivered to me at my address, besides. We all know who the liar around here is. If that's true, Miss Green, how do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was what I don't see why I should explain. Sorry? I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is to just say what happened, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations and the proof. You, the fledgling liar. The fledgling will do his best. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth. Well, counsel. I'm ready, my lord. Let's go. Very well then, the defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses. Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shanks' room, there can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the note. Yes, two facts are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all of this. And it's not a pretty one. I'm starting to think like Olive's the one who did all this shit. I think I'll have to present the poison. On the day I did tarry along, okay, nobody came. Okay, like nobody. Okay, Shancer was not at his house, so and then Olive Green broke into his house because the envelope on the floor like disappeared. I don't know what you mean. You think I stuck in his man's room, do you? And then we did like accuse her. Yeah, we did accuse her of like poisoning the pipe with the poison.
Objection.
Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle, and though the contents spilled during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry set, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shakespeare. Miss Greeny broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shakespeare's room with poison. Can this be? You broke into my room too? It may seem incredible to the court, but for the remaining clues, there's only one logical conclusion that we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shakespeare's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dearie me! Damn. Oh, order! Counsel, are you seriously judging this woman put poison at the end of the gas pipe with attempt to kill? Yes, my lord, there's no other way to explain the facts. But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim was put his mouth to the pipe the very evening I expected, the attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely? Well, that's a very good point. Perhaps not, my lord. I beg your pardon? There was a significant police presence in the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at that time. Lord Van Zeeks. And of course, the following morning, there were more activity at Mr. Chancellor's address. More activity? Ah, yes. You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Knudsen, being arrested on suspicion of murder. That's right, and as the defense has already proposed, Mr. Chancellor is meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself. To cause the gas stove in Mr. Knudsen's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant. But once Mr. Knudsen had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In these circumstances, Mr. Chancellor had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe. His intended victim being in a prison cell. With the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison under the pipe lay dormant. And then 3 days ago now, the situation changed again. Right, Mr. Knudsen's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end. The trial in which the man stood accused by stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted. That resulted in Mr. Knudsen returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Chancellor was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present in the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier. Mary had a little lamb. With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan. What plan? The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the slug and cell at 5 o'clock, and that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for these instructions are now clear. To ensure that the lodger would not be at home at the stated time, so she could take the envelope. To make sure I wasn't home? Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed. You mean to say that letter was written by Miss Green, yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room. Order! Order! What do you have to say for yourself, witness? Just who are you? Why'd you try to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. Her boyfriend is all tied up with someone whose name we heard several times already during the course of this trial. So, that's what's behind all this. That's what's behind all this. You will share your opinion and understand with court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life? Duncan Ross.
Take that!
Duncan Ross. That's right, before the defendant, Mr. Knudsen, took up residence in the lodgings of Mr. Gardov's, somebody else was renting the room, Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers some months ago when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings. That does ring a vague... Ah, of course, yes, I remember now. The young man was strangled by the convict's curse or some such. Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Chancellor blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple. Ah! Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths, that's all people care about. If it's an interesting story they want to know, it doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story's lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you, Duncan was... Mr. Ross is Miss Green's fiancé. Fiancé? You may not know until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Chancellor. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy, the murderer took the life of the man she was to marry. Mary! Miss Green, this is not the case. That in order to exact revenge on Mr. Chancellor, you smear poison over the end of the gas pipe. This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel, each on different counts of murder? Okay, deep breaths. 1, 2. Yes, my lord, that's correct.
Objection!
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gases, causing his judgment to be clouded. What? Why would Mr. Chancellor wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man. Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have decided. 'Tis lies, all lies. I deny every utterance. I don't know, you seem very stressed out right now, though. And you have to forgive me, Mr. Naruto, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either. Yeah, I wonder why, Miss Green. I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sending gulls for the likes of this scoundrel. But you broke into the man's room. If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what was your reason? I thought I had a look around, that's all. Sure? Sorry? You're right, I suspected him. So I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh, vileness, oh, villainy, oh, tyranny, oh, rotundity of woman. But in any case, whenever I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors is no different. Duncan showed me how to unlock the door with some terps and piece of wire. Oh, awfulness, oh, tyranny, oh, profanity of woman. We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed. Well, I saw a note that I sent lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place. Eh? Yes, we also discovered a hiding place. Inside, we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. Ah, yes, well the thing is, when I found it, the box was empty. What? There was something in it? Yes. You took it? Oh, this rather nice key. Ah! What are you doing with that? You mean you just noticed it? What the? Every ounce of color that was strained from his face. Give it here! Give it to me now! It's mine! I inherited it! What was that witness? What did you say? You inherited it? No, what's all this about? He inherited that key? It was obviously important to you since you gone to such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what's it for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Give it back this instant minute! Give it to me! Calm yourself, witness! So Mr. Chancellor has tried, and in one case succeeded, to take the life of 2 lodgers now. But why? Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Chancellor at first, but considering everything we now know, I think there is actually something that could explain it. What? The newspaper? The criminal? Selden? I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all these events. The criminal Selden, didn't he hide 1,000 pounds worth of money? Maybe that's it? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that. Because the key was... I think the key is like connected to all this. That's an official police report, is it not? The Selden file. How did you get a hold of that? Selden? The now Saudi deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room. Well, yes, we know this certainly. A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries. I see. And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The sum 1,000 pounds worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found. Ah, yes, of course, it's coming back to me now. It's written in his file here. 1,000 pounds lost en route to hell. That was how the paper summed it up. And it seems that the one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret. Holy shit, Chancellor was in jail with Selden? The location of the stolen loot, and perhaps the key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in. You mean this key is... Mr. Chancellor, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender cell when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? It's a false charge, I tell you, a false charge! The name of the inmate who was Selden at his desk isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is. But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the complex lodgings? There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. So what, you just thought killing every occupant in that room would help you find a treasure? So, it all comes out. Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Chancellor's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense. Like, you know, like, if people die in that room, like, people would just keep investigating that room, and you just thought killing every occupant would just make you closer to the treasure? That's stupid. When he was out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Gardo's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to afford him the accommodation of his choice. Because Selden's old room had already been lent to someone else, Mr. Duncan Ross. Which is why Mr. Shakespeare subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room, and when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room. However, a certainly jittery someone had beaten him to it. Mr. Soseki Natsume to defend his case, no less. So he decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Chancellor? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. You are guard! Murderer. He's like pretty dumb too. Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they get to stretch me neck. Listen, I want you to have me loot. Anything to stop the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's hidden in the room where I was watching when they got me. This is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shakespeare. It's mine. What did he just say? It's mine. That loot is mine. Okay, Mr. Shakespeare? It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why would I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? Pretty cuckoo. If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me, for the time being anyway. Verily, you can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it. I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I'd just give up? There's no question in my mind now. This man's guilty through and through. But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Miss Naruto. There's a way. Pardon? There's one way you can finish him. No. He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on the loot, which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan, were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it was there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, they certainly cannot rule. If only there's some way you could find the convict's loot quickly. I mean, the freaking key. This is the final piece in this complex puzzle, but I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think you may have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden. The key! My lord. Yes, Consul? The Deepest would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we're already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to his whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth the gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already, and already definitely paid off then. Very well then, Consul. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose to use in order to locate the hiding place of deceased convict's hall? I mean, the freaking handprints, right? There was like a shit ton of handprints, so... If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Chance's handprints on the wall of his lodgings. That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigation scene. Besides, based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective Mr. Sholmes. A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think you're gonna be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shakespeare. There he is, my favorite character. Perhaps he should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title. Ah, but this Herlock shows himself. What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy backstreets of the capital, are they not? Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long, and I see your complexion has worsened since last we met. Mr. Sholmes, he does know Lord Van Season. Well enough to say something like that in any case. Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit. If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us uncover vital clues in this case already. Clues, you say? I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which you were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. You need only a small sample of the individuals previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you have been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? What am I to use this sample to make the indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Soseki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate something suits that's hidden in his old room. What form would the sample take? Well, Olive has the freaking key, so we'll need something Selden's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot. And something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record. Upon my word, Miss Narholder, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? Miss Olive Green.
Take that!
Miss Green. Me? What do you want me? The key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on the surface that we can use. Very true. That is the sample we need. Using it, we could create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Mr. Shakespeare, as one grade to another, I assure you. If the late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. So, Mr. Shakespeare, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth. In that case, I'll gladly let Mrs. Sholmes have this key. No! Give the key to me! The detective shan't have it! It's over, Mr. Shakespeare. No! You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. Whoa! well, that was something. That was pretty short, though. I never intend to kill the man. I just want to drive out of the room, that's all. So you'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods? Yet after he killed the young man, he still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused. Why? I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing. Mr. Carter really has had a lot to put up with. And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign a new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume, what unfortunate timing. Then 5 days ago, after the incident at Briar Road, the Japanese fellow got himself arrested. I thought I finally had my chance, but it wasn't to be. No. The scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day. And if I remember rightly, Mr. Sean spent the whole day in there reading books. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, he once again tried to strike a blowing arrow to the gas pipe that feeds the stove in his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, the action will lead you into a deadly trap. William Shakespeare, how does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That's the answer. Wait, was to be or not to be from Hamlet? Not from Macbeth? Whoops. Oopsie wopsies. I got the protagonist mixed up. You deserve to die for what you've done. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. The gas supply in my new lodge is a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's a convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. Alright then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There are spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave the horrible room tonight? No, I better not. We said we wait until we graduate before we told our parents, remember? Oh my god, you should have just moved in with her. But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, he fell victim to the gas. If only I'd known it was going to happen, I'd been insisting you left the harbor room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped eastern-looking man with a mustache come into the house one day when I was there. He walked up to the road to Grub's Gubby for some food, so I followed him. I sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican. This place is cursed, I tell you! Curse! The ghost of the convict used to live there is trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night freezing to death because the stove was gone out. The room is full of gas and it gets hard to breathe. But the pipes have been checked, no problem there. It's like I had the problem! That's what they're thinking! But how could that be? Duncan was gone and now this man almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered. A rumor I heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations. A rumor? Ah, you mean... Yes, everybody's heard the stories it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes. How anything connected to gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident though? Once I had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I brought this. I wanted the black markets in East End. Black market? I had never been. I just heard people talk about them, and I really can't buy anything you think of in there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on it so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident, or was it murder? And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected a man of tampering with, and wait. If Mr. Chancer is innocent, nothing will come of what you've done. But if he was guilty, he will pay for his crimes dearly. I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Chancer, and then I wrote in this little note. I have information regarding the deaths of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about the letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. If he'd done it, I knew that would worry him enough, so he'd be sure to go. So waited to see if it worked. And of course, Mr. Chancer followed the instructions to the letter. I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away, so I smeared a good amount of poison I brought all around the mouth of the pipe, all the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done. That was all just a wild fantasy. Damn. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done, and that the culprit would get his just desserts. "3 days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward." Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we would subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend. Oh, yes. And one I certainly didn't find envisage walking with you. Nevertheless, together we reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green. Yes, my lord. You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Chancer. Yes, I know. And you, Mr. Chancer, will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Soseki Natsume here present. Mrs. Naruhodo. Yes? Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from ending your life by drinking while I was left in the poison bottle. I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be, or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Well, personally, I'm glad for being here, Miss Green. Oh, and I like to believe that it's the blessing Mr. Chancer didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Because of you, I chose life, not death, and now I made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green. Mr. Soseki Natsume. Yes, my lord. The court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I will call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty. Woo! Gosh, that was a long ass case. But we did it! We did it! Yay! Court is adjourned. Bwap. Oh, yes, yes, at last. Divine justice duly done. Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. No! This has nothing to do with my mustache! Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes. Welcome, student in our Hodok Square! Once again, you saved me from doom! I'm very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days. I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to a room and lived life through friendly old books. Books are your friends. You have such a difficult time, haven't you? But a week ago now, I dragged you out the dark and dingy room of yours, did I not? You did, and I see more alive in this week than all my years to date. Sorry, I can't read. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that so far been hiding from me behind a wall of fog. My dear fellow, there's nothing special about the true face of the English, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are a few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I come to understand something. I worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said. I come to feel the same way. Yo, same. I made a decision too. So, no matter how different you are, no matter what different nationality you are, no matter what different place you live in, we're all the same human beings with a heart. So, if you think otherwise, then I don't think you belong in this world. If you think you could just judge people based on different nationalities, then I don't think you belong in this world. Just saying. I'm gonna cut short my study tour here, return to Japan. I just want to say everyone is the same and equal. What? Just when we become friends here in England, what a terrible shame. Oh, I know, that does tug at my heartstrings, it really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I learned here in Britain and write something of my own. Novel of sorts, I suppose. Oh my, so you'll be creating your own literature, Miss Natsume? How wonderful. Oh, well, no, I mean, I would have pursued the call literature! Why not? When that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache. I suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur. I, for one, would love to read her work. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper. That's very true. And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor. The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of her homeland is one I quite understand. My goodness, yes, face is such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure. But that's not why I'm leaving! I mean it! Objection. Objection. And that was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. So Seki-san did indeed return to Japan and submit a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikoto was prompted to visit the scholar. And barely any time later, Susato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. On the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial on the following day. The day that we uncovered the loot, hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. That's simply marvelous of you. To uncover the secret hiding place in just one day. Wasn't supposed to take 30 minutes. As I believe I told you, my dear fellow, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson? Gregson's been happily munching green this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily? I think perhaps humorlessly might be closer to truth. So, it transpires the man in fashion a hiding place in the ceiling. And what's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let us look then if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's hall. What What is that? What is this? A collar? It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar. A collar is huge though. And look at all the gemstones set in it. I can see what's going to be worth 1,000 pounds. Perhaps I would have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed it? Inside here there's some dark stains. You don't think they could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it. I mean, on second thoughts, perhaps I would have it as a belt. Then of course, this is emblem here. Fire emblem? A large letter B and a small crown. Fire emblem? What does this signify, do you think? Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know. Where could it have been? That's enough of that, I think. What? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? All the color is strange from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this out on you. It could be valuable evidence after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Ah, yes. Get your grubby hands off that, you lot, and hand it over now. I never seen a car that large before, and all these jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out to me. At least not once I noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar, those stains. Could they really have been blood? Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now. And you look very pleased, Iris. I am, because I'm starting to wonder what I could use as the basis of this month's story in the magazine. But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating. You're talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume? The Mystery of the Knife in the Mist, and The Mustachioed Man and the Convict's Curse, perhaps? I can make a 2-part story. Oh, I can't wait! A word please, Iris. Yes, what is it, Hurley? I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question. What? Why not? It's a great case. Then I shall desist that you limit yourself to the first of your 2 titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? Yes. And so it was that the second of Saseki-san's cases became... Oh, but I'll get...
Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
And the case too! Woo! That was a pretty long case, but it was actually pretty interesting. I am now excited for the 3rd case. Let's save. Okay, I actually have some time, so let's begin. Episode 3, The Return of the Great Departed Soul. Yes.
The grand end of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few were aware my friend Mr. Sherlock Holmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the Great Exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location. Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
I think this is a very bad idea.
In but a few moments from now, these gentlemen will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive.
Sorry, a car passed by.
Crystal Tower behind you.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, rip that guy. Bruno, are you listening? Oh, sorry, what was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. What are we talking about again? Today's paper is full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Ah, yes, the Great Exhibition. I like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? Well, he's very down too. Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down. When did you arrive, Mrs. Naruhodo? What? I've been here for about half an hour, lady, already. We had breakfast together. What? Why did you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking your vim, so much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. Clearly, it can be deduced, therefore, that, let me stop you there, Mr. Jones, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now. 6 months? Since I was forbidden for walking in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Oh, well, that'll explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? Did you say something, Iris? Back to moping. So, can we go to the Great Exhibition? I really want to go. What's the matter with Mr. Jones today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. I know, and the Great Exhibition's open. You think he'd be excited? Oh, why don't we all go see it together? Yeah, let's go. I want to. Of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So your boy is a tricky case they can't be distracted from? Is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley. I suppose to try to find out what's going on. Alright, let's talk with Sholmes. Oh boy, that's a lot. Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time, unforgivable mistake. Yeah, the frickin'... Words fail, the situation is utterly deplorable, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time research and study, so that's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Runo? Reading all those big, fat tomes of British law up in your room, and then those about Sholmes' old cases. Brewing Iris' special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You become something of a master around here. Start on the silverware next, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, I think I'm going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Star at the British Supreme Court on Whitehall. Whoops, Whitehall. Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who could grant me permission for me to start working in courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. And I can't do that just sitting around here. The whole London has accepted this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things and the world will be watching. Wow, 6 months? Oh, do you know what I like to do? I like to look down at London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on? Do you mean those things? The hot air balloons. Fly? Yes, of course, they fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand at all. That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand it at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I was just seeing it though. I love to see how bad some of the scam experiences really are, says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page of this paper carries some article or other about the great exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Okay. Shadows cast behind? Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Okay, I would like to examine this. What? The Reaper attacked? So many glowing reports about the great exhibition, everything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what? What's the matter, Runo? What? The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zeeks. This must be what Mr. Sholmes is talking about. Why is he wearing a mask? Does he know any more, I wonder? Wait, what? This Zeeks, and who is this guy? Huh. Oh no, lost cat, no! Y'all better find a cat, or I'll... Every article on front page is about the great exhibition. Public experiments to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas. Cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go see it properly up before too long. Yeah, I want to go! Want to go to a great expedition. Your gloomy mood? Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. You're acting very strangely, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually... The more mysterious and complicated cases, the better Hurley's mood. Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please, you must exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making these deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes? Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way out once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. It says in the paper Lord Van Zieks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper at the Bailey course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Bark Van Zieks. Yeah, we know about the curse. London's finest rogues always find its way around the law, just up until they secure an acquittal trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even one such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital's never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zieks has been attacked like this before? This is the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take his attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants are armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zieks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, as to what Lord Van Zieks' condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you shall inquire somebody in the know. But who? Lord Strongarm, perhaps? Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are shameless liars sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me out by guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you'd be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Well, then see you later indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out the door. Ha 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 ha! What? What is this? Alright, the riddle, is that her hat? Oh, Iris, what are you wearing? I got changed to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me. What? But I was going to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well, that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then. Okay. Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? Of course, and at the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the Great Exhibition. Alright, well, I guess I got a plan for today. A new location has been added! Alright, let's go see Strongheart. The imposing Lord of Justice. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here, but some things never change, like the sense of foreboding always seems to play on this place. Okay. It doesn't seem to be bothering Arisa though. At all though. She's happily reading over there. Alright. Take your time reading over there. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came was 6 months ago. Well, when Susato was given the news that she has to return to Japan. I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, Lord Strongarm, I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see, since you arrived in requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I kept you waiting a while. My apologies. No, I like nothing more just standing around staring into space, like now. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Mayo Strongheart. Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in his grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition in London is now underway at last. You were extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open an International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As for the hosting nation, I have much to do, and is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as Dean Bazaar again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing in my mind, as it happens. Runo, just take a deep breath, come out with it. Oh boy. Converse? Permission to work? I actually came here today to ask for permission. Go on. 6 months ago, when I had to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to get into the courtroom again. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you're a substitute for a compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on a study tour, not me. Stripping Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Asogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say. Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As at this point, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you so much. That's wonderful news, Runo. In fact, I believe the perfect case to mark your comeback, a curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course, please tell me more. Alright guys, I think that'll be it for part 9. Yeah, part 9 of the Great Ace Attorney 2. Next part, I guess we'll continue the 3rd story and continue talking to Starheart. I really want to go to the Great Exhibition. Let's hope we go there next time. Alright, bye. Thank you for watching.